love me. Please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree. When the love's gone and the hate's there, better watch out, cause it's cake fear. When your family ain't your family, and your legacy is just a name there. In your mother's eyes.
Welcome back to the We Was Watching podcast. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm your other host, Chanel, and Brandon had me ready, and then he had me waiting, so then I wasn't ready when we came on.
None of y'all believe that, so
I was looking crazy, staring, because I'm like, oh, Brandon, I'm still looking at the screen, and then boom. I think you enjoy me looking surprised.
She's not even a convincing liar, so.
I'm dead because I'm not lying. I don't have to convince you. I'm just like, wow, I was ready, and then I was looking like, oh, is everything okay? And then boom, we're on.
We're back to talk about Severance, Season 2, Episode 5, Trojan's Horse. But before we get into the episode, those of you listen to us on the podcast, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a review. If it's 5 stars, we'll read it on the show. Those really help us reach a larger audience. You can also watch us on YouTube, where we stream live each and every week at youtube.com/@WeWasWatching, or just search for the We Was Watching podcast and you'll find us. Go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you get exactly when we're going live. You can also email the show at wewaswatchingpodcast@gmail.com. We haven't got much emails this season, surprisingly. So I see the numbers of y'all listening. Send us some emails. I know y'all got theories. We want to read them, and we'll read those on the show.
Yeah, I got a DM. I can read that.
Oh, that's because, you fancy.
I got a DM that would have been an email.
Yeah, okay. We got listeners in Chanel DMs. Okay, listeners. I see y'all. Shooting your shot.
That's not what's happening.
I see you shooting your shot.
That's literally not what's happening.
And then you can reach us on Twitter and Blue Sky at We Was Watching.
Also, whenever we're streaming live, you can interact with us in the chat. So shout out to Tommy and Larmes Demiel. It's probably French. They're already in the chat. You guys let us know that you are watching. Check in with us so we can say hi. We've streamed on Saturdays a couple times now. It's not always going to be Saturdays, but it will be Saturdays sometimes. So we're glad you guys could be here with us.
So now we got a review. Do you want to read it?
We do. The review is related to the DM. So hold on. The DM said, nope, not her. The DM said, sorry, I was actually not ready. I was like, oh, okay. And then I realized I wanted to read this out loud. And wow, I send a lot of memes. This is just me sending out memes. And so this is me not realizing that there we go. Found it. Okay. Hi, hello, Chanel. I'm a fan of your podcast. We was watching, and I wrote a 5-star review on the Apple Podcast, but you didn't read it on the last show. Sad face. I'm wondering if you even saw it because I wrote it Saturday. It's starting out a little bit which is okay, but it's just funny because it's like, oh, did you read my letter? Which is very like how Eminem does that song. I wrote it Saturday, February 8th before your broadcast. Regardless, I wanted to let you know that you do have listeners out there. We just don't always post, which is okay. Now we're not in Stan territory. She's just like, dude, you're begging for reviews, but we are here. In fact, I really use my Insta account and I don't always subscribe on YouTube. I'm probably as old as Brandon, granny emoji, but I did for your show. Thank you so much. I don't know if she wants her handle out there. So thank you so much to Sassy who messaged me. And I wanted to reach out and let you know, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. So actually, they are right. We do not get the reviews immediately because Apple does actually like process them sometimes. So if you do it like on a Friday or Saturday, we might not get it till the next week. So apologies for that, but it is now up. So thank you so much to H-Town Nasley. Oh, wait. Actually, there's two. So we might have read this already, so I'll read it just in case this is one we missed. So 5 stars from Latinx Sis. Thank you so much. Keep listening. Loving the deep, insightful conversations you bring to Severance. I've been a fan since your industry podcast, so I checked in and out through Silo and the Penguin Discourse. I did enjoy your recaps. Fair. It's refreshing to hear discussions that highlight severance, themes of labor, identity, and power through a lens that's often overlooked. Last week's discussion about the facial expressions between two Black characters was timely, as Chanel said, for Black History Month and current DEI removal campaigns. Your analysis adds layers of meaning that make me appreciate the show even more. Keep doing what you're doing. This is the kind of podcast I love to listen to. Thank you, Latinx Sis. I actually do think that's the missing review, because we had a new one that I will highlight. 5 stars from H-Town Naysayer. I hope that you're not naysaying, but I think you are yay-saying because it's 5 stars. Favorite television recaps podcast. I started listening to Brandon and Chanel during Silo season 2. The recaps immediately hooked me. I'm glad I found them before the new season of Severance began. It's become a part of my overall viewing and listening experience. Oh, we love to hear it. We love being a part of your previewing, post-viewing, whatever the experience is, we want to be there for it. Thank you guys so much for the messages to remind me to read your review and then for the reviews.
Thank you for those reviews. And Latinx Sis, you have no idea how pro DEI Chanel is. Chanel's so pro DEI that she wants to blackwash the entire MCU. She don't want no white people, no whites allowed, no diversity. Actually, she's anti-DEI. She just want all Black people. No whites, no diversity, no equity for the white people. Just no equity for the Latinx Sis. She don't want none of you. She don't want none of y'all in there. Just Black people. She sent me a list. She DMs me and she says, this is how the MCU should be if it was for real. And I look at the list and it's recasting all the actors and it's all Black people. So I just want you to know, I appreciate the 5-star review. I don't know if she appreciates it though, but I appreciate it.
You think that's gonna provoke me saying that I'm anti-DEI, but you know what? Let them clip it. Let them clip it out of context.
Which part of that did I lie about?
It's just the narrative you're trying to build is very convenient.
I just speak the truth. I'm a truth teller. All right. I'm CM Punk.
Thank you.
I'm the voice of the voiceless.
Yep, you are definitely CM Punk.
I'm the voice of the voiceless.
You know who I am? I'm who is, oh my God, not Triple H. Who's the one who didn't want to fight in front of Arizona because they didn't recognize Black History Month. They didn't recognize MLK Day. Who was that?
Hulk Hogan.
No. That is so funny. Who was it? Oh.
I don't know who the hell you're talking about.
No. He said he wouldn't. The Edge.
The Edge.
Have you never seen that clip?
No, I never saw that clip. I have no idea.
He wouldn't fight John Cena in Arizona because he said they were the last state to recognize Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and he couldn't stand for that. So that is who I am in the WWF franchise, in the world.
You're Cope. That's his name now in the AEW. Cope.
Oh wow. No, I'm over the Edge. I don't know. I haven't checked in. I don't know what he's doing now. I can't vouch for him.
I don't want to spoil this show for anybody who hasn't watched it before we get into the Severance review, but y'all should go watch Paradise because it's really good. It's really good. Chanel, did you watch episode 5?
I'm almost done with it.
Oh, you're not done. See, I can't even tease you. I wanted to tease you.
But you're not gonna. But you said you're not going to spoil it, so
yeah. But nobody would know what the hell I'm talking about. The way I was going to tease you.
Well, you can say it. I won't know either.
I know, but I'm not. No, you would know because you watched the show. But y'all should go watch the show. It's kind of like Silo, but a little different. In like a very it's like Silo in a very like in the back of your head kind of way, where Silo is all about being in a silo, which is very interesting, and that's why I told Brandon to watch it, because there's a sci-fi element you don't expect that is, we'll see how, and it continues to play a part of the narrative. But I think no matter what, all these shows are like literally all sci-fi, and even this show we're streaming, Severance, is about control. And I think it's just so interesting right now in this day and age and the shit we're seeing in government, seeing how, like, if you control information or incite fear, like there's ways to control and determine what will happen to the masses. That is so, it's almost like bone chilling to me, like just seeing how a few people can control a whole town. Yeah, so yeah, it's a show basically where it has a big reveal at the end of the first episode that you probably weren't expecting. And then the
Well, now
theme
you will
throughout the
because you're
show,
like, because the whole time they're gonna be like, well, how is this like Silo?
and then no, I'm about to tell you how I'm about to tell them how it's like Silo.
No, that's the
Because
twist. Don't tell them that.
no, I'm going to tell them how it's like Silo, because the whole thing of the show is that the people in power, that the government is lying to you, and you're trying to figure out why the government is lying to you, right? Just like on Silo, why are they lying to us? I'm not going to tell you what they're lying to you about. You'll find that out when you watch the show. But you're trying to figure out why the government is lying to you and what all that is about. So go watch the show. It's on Hulu. It has a black male lead.
Sterling K. Brown. We get
good.
to see Sterling K. Brown from the back, like
he's naked all the time. What was that movie where he was playing a gay dude that I watched?
Oh yeah, he was naked in that American
Fiction.
Fiction.
That? American Fiction. Yeah, he was naked in American Fiction.
If you missed his butt from American Fiction, you can see his booty again in Paradise. That's enough to sell most people.
By the way, he was in a sex scene in this where you see his ass, and they didn't show the woman's ass, and I felt hurt. Like, I want equality in nudity. All right. I know you're trying to make the nudity policies to make up for the history of nudity, right? Like we do with DEI, right? We want to hire people to make up for the injustices of the past. And I know in the past, when you see a lot of naked men, they're trying to make up for that now. But, you can throw me a bone here and there, throw me something.
You say you did not see her booty?
No, you didn't see her booty.
Yeah, no, see, that works. It's balancing it out. So we have to have way more. Yeah, but you're anti-balance is what I'm hearing.
No, I'm pro-balance, but
not right now. Which is the argument that that's the states' rights argument.
Can I get 70-30? Like 70.
You're pro equality, but if we free the slaves, we will collapse the economy. That's what you're saying?
No.
That's what I heard.
I'm saying I'm pro free the slaves, but don't also then enslave the next group, right? Free everyone. Free everyone.
Not sure her booty is enslaving the next group is. I like that metaphor.
Yeah, free everyone.
Welcome to the chat. Hey, thanks for being here.
But speaking of that, let's get into episode 5 of Severance. Trojan Horse. Snow, what did you think about this episode?
This show is amazing. I was like, these bitches are cooking. I literally was thinking these motherfuckers are cooking. That very last moment, just like everything they're building to. I think I was telling somebody today, I know somebody who is waiting on their partner to finish season 1 so they can start season 2, which, by the way, that's the number one reason I'm single. I'm not waiting for nobody to watch my shows. Like, that's crazy to me that I wouldn't be able to catch up on Severance because of that. I'm telling you why I'm single. So they were waiting, and I was like, bro, just so you know, it might be slow in the beginning. You just have to trust us when we say it's worth getting to it. Cause like the show does start slow. And I have had like family members try to watch with me and not get it yet. And then they give up before they get to the good part. But I feel like all of that made season 2 worth it because every episode they are at an industry pace, which is insane because the show started out with, hi, you there on the table? Name 3 states. Like, we went from that to like every episode being some crazy wild shit. And I love that we got we started to see more integration and we got to see Irving going through what he's going through. So, or whatever that is. We got to see Bird again. So I am very excited for this season. I think this is a good episode.
Also, before we get into this, I forgot to say, we're going to also be back on Monday talking about White Lotus, because the first episode of White Lotus is tomorrow. So we get our boy Walton Goggins back, which I'm very excited. So on my other podcast, which is actually having a name change, we're changing the name to, Chanel's going to like this, A Seat at the Spades Table. Seat at the Spades Table. You like that?
You got that from ChatGPT?
No, I came up with that. That one. Okay. And we're going to we're actually reviewing The Shield, which had Walton Goggins in it, which is pretty funny. So we're reviewing The Shield right now.
I want you to review the other one where he played a trans woman.
My co-host brought that up on that last episode. I don't even know what show that is. Oh, not you. Sons of Anarchy, right? Isn't that it?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's Sons of Anarchy.
And then Guys, big news. I don't know if anyone knew this. Walton Goggins plays Cecil in Invincible.
Literally everyone listening knew this. They all knew.
So that's so exciting that he's doing that. I remember it when I started to rewatch.
So I'm very excited for White Lotus tomorrow. And I actually I get to talk to Chanel 2 times in 3 days. It's like it's like the best thing of all time. The best thing of all time. So I'm very excited. Mm-hmm. I don't like that disingenuous smile right there. I'm hurt.
I wish I am excited. I wish I could explain to you what has to happen between now and then for me to be able to, how much shit I have to do. That's all I'm just thinking about. But yes, I'm excited. It's going to be great.
Also, we might have a guest host coming up in the next week or two. I forget which week, because you know, Chanel gallivants around the country. She got hosts flying her out to all different parts of the country, and
that's exactly why I'm
experience the world. I'm very jealous. Very jealous. All right.
Yeah, that's 100% the narrative. That is
when you go on Instagram and you see those videos like the women in Dubai and they living it up and they buying all the Chanel purses. That's what we got right here. That's what we got right here. So she'll be out the country, living it up. And when she gets back, she'll have a few new stuff.
And I'm praying that somebody does reimburse me for what I spent. I would love for it to be what you just said, which is a sponsored trip. You know what I'm praying for? Actually, let's get monetized. This is an idea I had. I'm going to do a subscription drive with everyone I know, because there's no reason why everyone I know doesn't just click subscribe and go to this show, because we are 2 subscribers, by the way, right now from 200, which is amazing. And then if we get to 500, we are monetized. And I know that 500, that's like a lot from 200, but going from 0 to 200 is beautiful. So it's definitely 500 is doable. So I'm going to literally try to ask my classmates to subscribe, even if they don't ever watch again. That's okay. And we're going to get to 500. That way, my trips will be sponsored because the show will start paying us.
Well, last week we had the most viewers of the season watching our recap.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So that was
great.
So
if you're on the other stuff, if you're on the X, the Twitter, the YouTube, the Facebooks, come on over to YouTube real quick. Click that subscribe button. It's real easy. It doesn't cost money, and that will help us out. Thank you.
All right, we went a little bit past our 15 minutes, but it was worth it. Actually, we did do some Severance stuff to start, so not too bad. So DJ Rated R said she has to watch season 2 of White Lotus. Yes, you should. It's excellent.
Yeah, and so I don't know how much season 3 will have anything to do with season 1 or 2, but what was interesting is that there were some recurring characters from season 1. So I do think that there will be recurring character. Natasha Rothwell might be back, which I think would be great. Okay, right. So you do need to watch season 1 and 2 just to get that narrative, but you could technically start with us tomorrow and then go back. I don't know. I think you have you probably have 1 to 2 weeks before you will get into oh shit, this is ruining it for me territory. So because White Lotus is not it's a big reveal show. It's the finale is a real finale show. So you have 1 or 2 or maybe 3 weeks where it's a regular ass episode. You can watch it and go back and nothing's going to be spoiled. And Larmes, I'm gonna make sure I'm reading right. Larmes Damiel, I took Spanish, just so you know. We're also glad you found your channel. Thank you for looking out. Larmes Damiel says, glad I found your channel. I've been looking for new shows and love sci-fi, and we really appreciate that. How exciting. Everyone's in the chat. Let's get going. So this episode starts with,
oh, you doing my thing, huh? You doing my thing. Mm-hmm. We start on the 7th floor, and we see a creepy man walking down the hallway with a cart. He's whistling a song. I think she knows.
Well, no, we don't even see that. We don't see his face. He's hidden. I don't know who this man is.
Did I say we saw his face?
We did not see his face.
I never said we saw his face.
I know you said we see a creepy man, but I'm by the way, we don't even know. We just don't see him. They intentionally block his face the whole time.
Intentionally block his face. So that makes it even more creepy. Then we see Felicia.
Right, I'm not disagreeing. He's creepy.
Then we see Felicia and her co-worker, and what are they called again? I was about to say MDR, but they're not.
OND.
OND. And if you remember, Felicia was like, "Hey man, we used to take the shit to the dark hallway. Now they send the dude." And so this is the dude that he's talking about. If you look at the closed caption, they refer to him as Dark Doctor. Okay? They refer to him as Doctor.
I didn't have my glasses on, so I thought I said director. Thank you for that. He's also humming The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald, which is a 1976 song. What?
Shout out to my man, Old Man Wade, leaving a comment saying he doesn't believe anything that I say.
Hey, Old Man Wade, thank you. Appreciate that. All of Brandon's co-hosts will rise against him one day. So, the record of the Edmund Fitzgerald was a 1976 hit by Gordon Lightfoot, and it chronicles the final voyage of someone who succumbed to a ship that succumbed to a massive late season storm and sank in Lake Superior and lost all 29 crewmen.
Oh yeah, that's the ship that got split in half, and they don't know how the hell that happened.
Yeah, I mean, they said that there had been no crew error involved in the sinkings. Yeah, so like the main hatchway just caved in, and the melody goes to the song like Back Home in Derry as well, and it's like an old Irish dirge. So anyway, that shit must have something to do with something, because they picked it and it was in the caption. So just know that that he was humming The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which is on the album Summertime Dream by Gordon Lightfoot. This is when white men had perms, by the way. I feel like that could be relevant too. I'm not sure though.
They hand him some dental utensils, which I assume they 3D printed with all them 3D printers they got back there.
But it's also like that was weird, because that didn't seem like something you can't get from above. But like we said, we learned Lumen even makes their own doors, so like they don't bring anything from the outside, which is very interesting.
The doctor has a black card like Milchick and Grainer, so clearly he's not a low level employee if he's got the black card.
I mean, and he's going between this like restricted access area, so he clearly is like a level of management but he's not managing Severed, he's managing something dark.
And we know he's not Severed because he was humming the song. Because Severed,
right, exactly. They don't know music.
They wouldn't know that shit.
Yeah, they don't know.
And then then you see him walk back down the dark testing floor, and he goes into the elevator, and we don't see him.
So you think he's in there torturing people, or you think he's in there giving the corpses veneers?
I don't think he's torturing people. I think he's doing, well, if you remember in season 1, when they went to the perpetuity wing, they had that wing when they were walking through like the museum. They had the museum with all the grills.
The teeth.
Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah. What does that have to do with anything? What's happening?
I don't know if it has anything to do with anything, but he got some teeth, some dental utensils.
Are those the mouths of all the people that they're trying to bring back alive?
See? This is why I watched the show 3 times, to bring these things to you.
You have to, and this is why I watch the show right before we record, so I can be excited about it and remember everything.
So yeah. I'm very excited because I think we're going to see the testing floor before the Innie see the testing floor. That's what I think. I think they're going to show us.
I mean, exactly. Whenever they give us a clip of that, I feel you on that.
Mark's crib. Mark is taking his daily pills. He got a pill thing, which I got too, but I have it for vitamins. He got it for pills. I want to know where Gabby's getting these pills from. Like, how she get this prescription to get these pills. Like, who she got to hook up a doctor that's hooking her up.
Maybe she did pharmacology. Maybe she's whipping them up herself. Actually, pills are not that. I mean, like, you can make custom pills if you want to.
Really?
Because like pills are just capsules that you push together. So like you could put whatever you want in a pill. Technically, I don't know that you should.
That seems mad dangerous.
I'm just saying that you can make whatever pill you want to make. So she could be crushing up fucking.
I can make some e-pills.
You can make, that's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like she could be crushing up fucking rosemary and thyme and put it in a pill, and that could be like.
Oh, so you saying Ragabi's Dr. Sebi? Just giving Mark
I'm saying
bullshit.
That Ragabi might be into holistic medicine because that is Black people got our healing from the earth when we were forced to live outside.
I agree. Okay, I'm with that.
Yeah, I'm ready for whatever you got today.
Are you ready? So then Devin calls Mark and asks about the retreat. She goes, "How was the weekend?" And he's like, "I don't know."
That's where you might be confused. Yeah, that's where you might be confused because you think, "Oh, does Mark not know?" But then we realize this nigga's lying to Devin.
He said, he was like, I don't know. My Innie fell off a rope apparently, and she's like, "Are you hurt?" And he's like, "No, just wet." And I was like, "Oh, that's when he was down there fucking around with Helly. They just said he fell off a rope, which is fucking funny." Like, so they were doing the swinging thing, like you do at the lakes where you do the swing and then you fall into the water.
Wait, that reminds me of one of my favorite sketches from I Think You Should Leave. Have you ever seen the zipline sketch?
No. What is that?
Brandon, it's one of the funniest things.
Send me the sketch. I'll watch it. Send me the sketch.
I'm trying to figure out if we can even play it. It's worth playing. Okay. So anyway, if you've seen that sketch, then you know exactly what the fuck I'm saying, and you already started laughing. But anyway, yeah, so they did a lot of random bullshit, but apparently now we know it was over the weekend. So like their outies did actually consent to a weekend trip, which is crazy. That's actually crazy when you think about it. But I think he's probably just excited about the fact that like I think he's just waiting for himself to integrate. So he's like, I'm actually gonna keep going back down there until it happens.
So he also got to drink this disgusting ass liquid. It looked nasty as hell.
Honestly, that is where it looked like sea moss. It did look it was giving a little bit sebby. I'm not gonna hold you, because it was like gross. And I feel like once me and my mom tried to take sea moss and we said, actually, we're texture girlies, it's not gonna work for us. By the way, just wanted to shout out to Griffin Crossman. Thanks for joining the chat. Mark Lynch, thanks for joining. Mark Lynch says, you both make this sound like the most interesting show ever. And I love that. Thank you. But it is really interesting. Have you watched it? Or are you just here randomly? I would love to know.
He hasn't watched it. I tried to get him to watch it. That's my homie.
Oh, these are friends. Oh, Brandon's friends are here.
Friend. Yeah, listen, I tried to get him to watch it.
It is a very interesting show. But also Griffin Crossman says, I think Irv is letting it crust. What does that mean?
Let us know what that means. There might have been a mistype.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
Oh, so he asked him about, are you still burning images into your eyes? And I was like, oh, this nigga didn't tell her that he's reintegrated or trying to be reintegrated. Mm-hmm. So she don't know. So Devin's still asking, she doing that dumbass thing where he's trying to like burn this image into his eye, which actually we find out works later on this episode, but we'll get to that. So then Ragabi comes in, and apparently she living with this dude now. And we find out that she's living with him because she's afraid people are watching. And so she don't want to be going and coming because they're going to start asking questions. Why is she in Mark's house? And so she down there living in the basement like Pete was to make sure he can get reintegrated. And so Mark's like, hey, dog, when are we going to keep going? She was like, maybe tonight. Maybe tonight. Ask me later. Ask me in 15 minutes. I'll get back to you. So then we cut to Lumi.
So why do we think he's lying to her?
Because it hasn't clicked yet. And he doesn't want to worry her.
Yeah, I think it's more the worry because I feel like he probably actually knows that like he could die from this. He probably expects to die from this because of the way he saw Petey go through. And so it's probably like, and he probably did tell her all about Petey. So if he, and like, I think and I also will say this from the very last scene of the episode, Mark is ready to die about Gemma. It doesn't matter. So I think he's just like he's trying to tell her because she would be concerned. So I definitely think that's valid. Also just want to say hi to AG Lovecraft in the chat. Welcome to the chat.
I love that name, by the way. So then we cut to Lumen. Helena comes into the boardroom to meet with Natalie and Drummond. I want to know what type of voodoo backstabbing shit did Natalie do? Because I don't believe they would pick her, like just off of her merit. I'm sure she has the merit. I'm saying I don't believe they would pick her off of the merit. Are you saying
she slept her way to the top?
No, I'm saying that she did some Kier shit on her way to the top. Why else would she don't fit the rest of them?
I mean, I don't know. I think that honestly, I'm trying to get away from talking about DEI because I literally had a DEI debate with a family member, a Black family member today, and it stressed me like no other. And then we got off the phone and I was like, hey, they asked me a debate. They tried to debate me something about Elon. And I said, you know what? Why don't you go look it up and you tell me? And they were like, what do you can't? I'm like, no, I would like for you to, like, out here, if I'm wrong, tell me, but go fucking look it up instead of telling me your random opinion about, they said like they think Elon deserves to get paid for the job he's doing. And I was like, I gotta go.
Oh, God.
I gotta go.
I would have been
So
up
anyway,
out of there.
I had a long ass day. But anyway, all that to say, like, I'm trying to get away from the DEI jokes because it's like it's just too timely. But basically, I think Natalie, we remember the way we met Natalie was on AGN or whatever the fuck, KNN, the Kier News Network, whatever it was. Like she's I think of her as the external facing. Like, this is how small, and this is why I'm still not sure there's a board, because this is how small they are. That it's like the person who is their spokesperson is also in all the meetings and also introduces people for their review. So I think that like you said, she got in at some point, and I mean, shit, she could have been Helly's friend growing up that got roped into this shit. You know, it could be anything. She could be a bastard child of Kier, right? Like there could be any of those options. So I think that we'll find out more about her, but it is very interesting because we talked about before, like it probably won't be a romantic thing, but they do have a connection, and we actually see Milchick try to genuinely connect with her, and his bitch is like, "Nah, not here. I gave you your moment."
She's so high up. She get to talk to the board, right? She's on the other side of the table from Helana Egan, right? On the other side of the table, telling her that you're gonna have to send your Innie back downstairs, right? Like this is it. Like she got some real power there. So basically, Helena's like, "Hey, dog, can I go tell my daddy about this shit? Because I want him to hear from me. I want him to hear from y'all." And Drummond was like, let's not tell your daddy about this shit. And then she was like, "Listen, we're real close." And she's like, "Well, Mark's at like 70-some%, right?" And he's like, "Actually, 81%.
I don't understand Mark. Oh, was that about Mark? Okay, so I think you went back later and put it together with Mark. Okay, so okay, because they mentioned it later. I thought that they were talking about something else because there's probably multiple of these happening. So I guess I was thinking that I thought there was 2 instances related to progress talked about, and if it had been 2 instances, I was thinking that like maybe they're trying to bring Kier back. I feel like maybe the ultimate thing they're trying to do is like use this to make it about Kier. So I thought they were saying we're close to like doing the Kier thing, but what probably is going to happen as maybe this season, I'm gonna do my shot in the dark. Maybe the season ends with he brings back, like without Mark's intervention. I don't know what's actually gonna happen, but maybe the plan is for him to bring Gemma back and then them be like, we've resurrected somebody from the dead, like using whatever. Like I think that's what they mean by this is the biggest thing that'll ever happen.
Whatever they're doing is extremely big to them. And so Helly,
and they keep saying it's big to human history. They keep saying it's huge. So I do think it is resurrecting somebody.
And they said Mark is not going to finish this without Helly. So we got to send Helly back. And Helena's like, who? No, I am not going back down them steps. She was like, my Innie. Okay.
She says, I'll go back, but Helly won't be going back. The bitch who tried to kill me. And then she said, and then the other nigga who tried to kill the bitch who tried to kill her. Like, what are we talking about? And they're like, Helly, don't be scared.
She called them animals. She's like, they're animals. They're fucking animals.
Animals, yeah.
And Helena's like, fuck it, I'll fake it again. And it was like, dog, that's what got you killed last weekend. What you mean?
Like
we're not doing this.
It's so interesting how Helena doesn't have any accountability for like all of these situations are her fault. Because like even Helly's self-harm was related to her telling her you're not a person. If Helly had said,
is she doing that or are they forcing her to do that? Just like they're forcing her Innie to go down there now when she don't want to. She clearly don't want to go back down there.
Yeah, I think to some level though, at this point she's complicit even if she's being victimized. But like she is being coerced, but like she's also incentivized because like they said, she's an heir apparent. And so like I know you talked before about having theories that maybe she wasn't getting promoted the way she wanted to, and so she sacrificed this. So I don't know, but I just wanted to say that like I thought back about when Helly put in the resignation request. Helena had the option to compassionately explain to her, Helly, I know it's tough, but you're doing really important work. You can always write me a letter. Yeah. She could have been like, you can always write me a letter and Milchick will get it to me if something's wrong. But like, she wasn't playing smart. She was thinking how everybody else thinks, which is like, they're not people. And us and Milchick are the only ones who see like they are people. And I think that's we're going to get into it. But anyway, yeah. So I think Helena, it's her fucking fault because she keeps saying they're this and that, but like she's the one who infiltrated this group that only has the severed floor.
And so she goes, "Is my daddy cool with this?" And she was like, "Cool. It's his idea. He the one who he encouraging this shit." And so then Helly goes downstairs. She looks really upset about going downstairs. Oh shit, I forgot to upload the new pictures. Hold on. I knew it was something else I forgot to do.
We still got Dashing. We still got, what is the song? In through the snow. What? Trapping through the snow. We got Trapping through the snow, Milchick. Sorry, I was just trying to think about
like, it's so cold in the D. Ain't that your shit?
Isn't that everybody else's shit and not ours? Isn't that everybody else's joke about Detroit that we don't use?
So then Helly goes downstairs. She's salty, and then she meets Miss Wong, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, no, and I actually love that because every episode I'm like, this really is a child. But yeah, like, so I think we get an interesting thing this episode from Helly because all of this is new for her, and I think it is like you genuinely now know it's her because Helena is not that good of like we know it's her, but Helena is not even good of an actress to be like, what the fuck? And I think it's so clear now that Helly was not Helly. It's so funny looking back because I feel like Mark's obviously feels like an asshole, but like. Even the way that actress Britt is like, she's walking like Helly again.
Yeah, that's in my note. She's doing that Helly power walk down the hallway. Yeah, it's so obvious to see the difference.
It's definitely her, yeah.
Then they all go in to confront Milchick, and I have that clip because I thought this was great.
Hey, is she?
Her Innie.
MDR. Together again. Come on in.
Did you see him on the Downey commercial, Chanel? He's got a Downey commercial, like in real life, but as Milchick. And he's like, Limited Industries is with Downey. And he's like doing the whole voice and everything. It's like, it's so fucking funny.
No, but I did watch that clip you sent me of the additional Lumen marketing videos they made.
Oh, on Twitter, yeah. That was on Twitter. But he's got a real life commercial, like on TV. It's like playing on the All-Star Weekend right now of Milchick.
For him. Y'all know how I feel about. Sorry, I muted myself. Y'all know how I feel about Tramel.
I need to know what's going on. Like right now.
Where's Irving?
And why was he trying to drown me?
Because you're a fucking vegan.
Dylan is all out of fucks to give at this point. He's done.
Was she
He
spying
already was. He met his Audie's wife. He's definitely like, I think he got distracted by that perk, but I think he like losing Irv put him back in focus of like he's back on his square.
on us? Wait, what?
The whole time. It's called a Glasgow block. It allows one's outie.
Wait. Are you saying that she was down here as me?
Maybe she still is.
Hey, I repeat myself. Where is Irving?
Yeah, where is he?
I'm so confused.
Answer my question!
Excuse me.
Milchick's like,
He said, "Who the fuck you talking to?
Do y'all pay bills in this house? I don't think y'all pay bills in this fucking house."
Definitely. He said, "I know you're not bridging your motherfucking voice at me."
Helena Egan, in her executive capacity, was conducting valuable research.
By stealing my fucking body?
Is Milchick code switching, or do you think he sounds like that in his normal life when he with his boys?
I imagine when he leaves there, he talks like Shaft, and it's only because of the mustache and the hair. I can't. It's hard for me.
And
to
the leather jacket.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
and the motorcycle.
It's hard for me to not think he's like, these motherfuckers at work, man, they all on my shit. That's what I.
Does he use the term jive turkey? That should be on the poll. We're gonna put that on the poll. Does Milchick use the term jive turkey?
I'm being silly. Milchick definitely has one of those homes that like the male influencers have. Like, do you follow any men who are like go viral because they just clean their house really nice? Like black men who have like nice floral arrangements. Okay, so I follow men who just like they're just famous because their apartment is just immaculate and they just do like content of like black men doing yoga on a Saturday. That's definitely Milchick. Milchick has like some nice wine that he opens up when a proper woman comes over. or he's like lives with his mom. I can't figure it out, but like it's probably he's like a suave Renaissance man. That's what I see from him.
Okay.
Or he's a loser. I can't figure it out.
Irving had no knowledge of what management's intention was in this action. And in so doing, he nearly drowned you. Our only option was permanent dismissal.
So he is dead.
No. Irving B's outie has departed on an elongated cruise voyage.
What is that? Why do you have to say cruise and voyage? What?
No, okay, wait. We have to start a big word count.
Elongated cruise voyage.
Is voyage a big word?
In that context, yes, because it's unnecessary.
Okay. We got 2. All right, we're gonna keep it going.
I don't give 3 dry fucks about his outie.
She doesn't have the right to take my identity.
Have you ever heard the story of the Glaxschupen?
I swear
The
to
way that
you,
would have pissed me off when you lost it.
when
You
I
lost your mind
saw
when you heard
that the first time, I said, "What is he talking about? What is he talking about?"
Yeah, he's on one. He's on one for sure.
How
That's
is
what I'm
this a
saying. He's
reference?
He's funny as shit because like also there's other ways to explain it, and also they don't fucking know who that is. Unsevered people don't know who that is. So that he be pissing me off.
Let's assume we haven't.
In ancient times, the king of Sweden himself was known to go incognito amongst his people in the hopes of learning their true grievances.
Is incognito a big word?
Absolutely. You know who that reminded me of?
Who?
Fucking what's his name? Going into the thing with the King's Guard.
Who are you talking about?
Uncle Damon, how he used to be
Damon.
in the club. Yeah, he used to be in the club with the common folk, like he wasn't a
Yeah.
Targaryen. That's what it reminded me of.
He would don an old gray robe, a Glaxschupen, the name for which he was remembered, to disguise his royal vestments.
Vestments? I've never heard of that word.
Vestments is so now that I'm thinking about how formal he is, it's so we're at 4 and 20 seconds.
Keir Egan himself was known to do so in his ether factories.
Hold on. His ether factories?
Yeah, did you catch that before? I thought
What?
about that. I said,
Why does he have
I
ether
think-
factories?
I think when he met Imogen, it was at he was stirring a vat of ether. That's what I'm saying. This is literally Monsanto. This is like the world's most dangerous, most narcissistic. This is Monsanto fucked Amazon and then got bought by Alphabet. That's what this company is.
And Miss Egan was carrying on this noble tradition.
It smells like horse shit.
Mark is fed up.
I think what also was interesting about Mark is like he's what's interesting about Mark is that he's starting to creep his personality is creeping through a little bit. I noticed this whole episode. So even though we had the moment at the end, I actually think his personality is creeping through more now. Even with the Helly thing, he's responding the way that Outie Mark would more. Because like remember, Innie Mark is a saint. So there really is a very interesting thing happening this episode with him.
Yeah, Swedish horseshit. And Irving is still dead.
As I said, Irving B's outie has departed on
an elongated cruise voyage. Yeah, I know. Is he going to come back or not?
He is not.
Uh-oh.
Wow, some actual honesty.
You fucking murderers.
You can't do this to people.
It will take time to absorb all that has occurred. This went well. Allow me to escort you to MDR.
Okay. What are you gonna say?
Wait, question. Does occurred count?
Occurred?
Occurred instead of happened?
No, I don't think occurred counts.
Okay. So what I wanted to say though is like it's interesting because I was very clear on the fact that Irving had been dismissed because Milchick was spitting Shakespeare last week, talking about, bitch, you will never be bequeathed into this domicile of winter wilderness again, and henceforth may Kier protect you in the darkness. Like, it was so clear that he erased his records himself that day. That was one thing I was like, he's standing on that. There is no confusion for me that he would like forgive him for this one transgression.
And help reacclimate you to your work environment.
Reacclimate.
Yes. Yes. All right, before we get back into the review, we got some chats to catch up with on YouTube. So those of you listening to our podcast, join us on the YouTube channel and interact with us in the chat.
Joe Boucher, I didn't see you earlier. Welcome to the chat. He says that we're talking about Miss Swong. He said a child who is unhappy that Milchick uses too many big words, hence the big word counter we got. And I almost, if I start abbreviating with BWC, you guys know what I'm referring to. Miss Wong is corporate mole, says DJ Rated R. I believe you.
AG Lovecraft says Milchick has no work-life balance. He clearly does not. His ass stay at Lumen to all types of the night. And then what else was we talking about? At the end of every shitty meeting, someone says, this went well, or that was productive.
Or if they had the least expectations for the meeting and a little bit came out of it that was good, they'd be like, oh, great. By the way, Mark Lynch, Mark watching without any context is actually going to drive me crazy. So Mark, you will get to the point where you see why we are making fun of him.
Sometimes Milchick does suffer from that, to be clear. Trying to make himself be more important than he is.
100%. But again,
100%.
that's the whole point. He's a black manager in an all-white environment, and they just added an Asian person. So it's like, yeah,
Asian child.
Yeah. So it's
child.
like, yeah, he doesn't get the opportunity to be like, hey, dog, what you mean? What you mean the meeting went well? Like, he doesn't get the chance to do that. He has to literally say, yes, this meeting portended to be contentiously pertaining. Like, he has to do it. There's no other way.
Milchick takes him back to MDR, and he sees that one of the workstations is gone. I don't know. This looked really weird to me. This tri-station that they had, it was mad weird.
I don't like it.
And not only that, Dylan picks up his photo of the whole MDR crew, and they just photoshopped Irv out of there. They literally photoshopped him out of the picture that's in a frame.
I'm just relieved that they didn't take him out of their memories, because I was worried that they were going to go all the way to like nobody would remember he existed. So I'm grateful for that.
So then Dylan's like, fuck this, I'm not doing no work. And Milchick's like, dog, you know the deal we got. Sit down. So Dylan sits his ass down. And then Dylan was like, look, I want a goddamn funeral, not a retirement party, a funeral, because Irv is dead. And Milchick's like, all right, what do you think? And Helly was like, yeah, a funeral. And it was like, okay, is this MDR's position? And he looks over to Mark, and Mark, being a complete dick, is like, sure, as long as it's quick. I'm like, dog.
By the way, so the whole episode, Mark is gonna be butthurt. And honestly, though, Tommy Franklin said they didn't even crop the photo. Fair enough. So here's the thing. Let's think about what Mark's gone through. Mark got Mark got stealthed. That's what it's called. Remember last week when I talked about this?
Yeah, yes, like with the condom.
We talked about this. Yes, that's what it's called. Mark got stealthed last week by Helana. He thought they were like, first of all, in Outie's first time having sex, he was like, oh, I'm in love with her.
Innie's first time.
And then finds, what did I say?
The Outie.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Mark Scout, man. Mark Scout be getting it in on the
He be slaying
outside.
him, knocking him down,
So-
knocking him down. No, but like the fact that okay, so anyway, the fact like your first time having sex, you're probably like, oh, I love this girl, and they already had a relationship. They're already in a partnership. So like, it really was like a culminating moment for him. And then to find out that like she hadn't been herself, it would make anyone who can put themselves in these shoes think, who have you been this whole time? How do I know all the moments haven't been her? It also does, I think, make you feel like, okay, what's the point? Because we've all known that the whole time they could see everything. Like, and I think they got a taste of that with the Keanu Reeves video, where it was like showing private moments that they didn't know they could capture. But like, I think Mark really understands like everything we're doing, they know. There's nothing we're doing that they're not going to understand. They know we're mapping it. They know we're meeting. Like, there's no point. So Mark is just having his like little depression, but the way that it shows is him going back to work and being focused. So I think that's a very like, this is just how he's going to be this whole episode. But he also like, how does he tell Helly, hey, I had sex with your body and I thought it was you, but it wasn't you. Like, he doesn't even know how to explain that. Cause she's gonna be like, nigga, how the fuck didn't you know it was me? Don't I talk like me? Like, that's disconcerting for her as well. So I think I just felt for Helly this episode, because like it was very hard. She's just trying to get caught up, and people are like, I don't even want to trust you anymore.
So then they have Milchick says, all right, I'll pull something together. He radios Miss Wong and tells him to ready a bereavement kit. So they got like,
they're ready for everything.
Contingencies for everything. They go to
they're
Mark.
Gonna act like they're gonna be like, oh, what do you mean? And they're just gonna be like, okay, page 385.
Yeah, they go to Mark in the bathroom, and this was very reminiscent of season 1 when Helly was in the bathroom trying to do the arm thing, and Mark says, "I'm going to come in," out. And she comes in, and she literally says the same thing to Mark, "I'm going to come in," and she comes in, and she says, "Are you all right, dog?" And Mark's like, "Nah, not really." And she was like, "You couldn't tell that wasn't me? You see this power walk I got? Like, you couldn't tell that shit wasn't me? She was doing that shit for real?" And Mark was like,
just think about it. If somebody was able to impersonate you, like, all jokes aside, if another bitch showed up as me, was texting from my phone, showed up looking like me, and my jokes were just a little bit off, would you immediately be like, that's not Chanel?
Yes, because your jokes are never off.
That means a lot, actually. But like, I mean, that's what Irving did. Irving said, oh, this bitch told a cruel joke. That's not her.
Irv knew immediately, but Irv wasn't sprung. So Dylan was distracted about seeing his Audie's wife, and Mark was sprung.
Irving was on.
Irv was the only one that was not on anything, so he obviously was like, this ain't her. And so Helena was like, what was she like? And Mark was like, bitch, like you. What you mean? She was you. And Mark says he doesn't, he's like, I don't know who Helly is. And Helly was like, dog, this shit is not my fucking fault. She hijacked me. Like, I didn't consent to this. Like, she took over my body and pretended to be me. Why are you acting like this with me? And then she asked Mark, what happened up there? And Mark was like, I don't want to talk about it. And then she was like, you don't want to know what?
Know anything. Yeah, like,
they never had that conversation.
About Irv, like Irving never really shared a lot, but like everything we know, all Helly knows is she's an Egan.
And so Mark's like, I don't want to hear what you did. I'm not going to talk about what I did. Leave me the fuck alone. And walks out the bathroom. Then they go to the back office. They got cups with their faces on it. Like they're prepared if someone dies. They got these cups already made.
That is, and you know how bad I want an Irving mug.
Yes, because Miss Wong says to Milchick, I thought a bereavement event were when Innies die on the floor. And I was like, hold on, so Innies just be dying on the floor? Like so much that y'all have to be ready for this?
But technically, I feel like people can die. Like things can just happen, right? Like you can have a heart attack. They're not necessarily scanning them for, well, I guess they're checking their vitals, but right. But like maybe they're not. I feel like that's just for like maybe somebody keels over. My question for you though is, because I just thought about this, where's your pen?
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be wearing my pen. Yes, downstairs. Okay.
I'm just joking. I'm
gonna start wearing my pen the next week. You're right.
I need to get me an Irving mug for, I might be drinking out of it next week.
So then Milchick said, Irv had an infection index of 60s in the high 60s. So they got an index of how much people like you.
They know everything. That is what I kept being confused for season 1. Like, why are they letting so much stuff go crazy? Like, there has to be, like we said, Mark is very powerful because this must be the first time they figured out we can kill someone's loved one and get them to recreate them out of like whatever. So Mark is definitely important because Mark is calling shots. We didn't expect him to be able to do that. Tommy Franklin said, you want to pull up his comment real quick? It's relevant. He said, Lumi got a warehouse. Somebody died in a forklift accident.
Absolutely.
Probably. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like one of the goats butted somebody too hard. Like something had to. It's too much bullshit happening down there.
Then Miss Mom's like, "Hey dog, can I ask you a question?" But it was like not like if I say, "Hey Chanel, can I ask you a question?" It was like, "Sir, can I ask you? Am I permitted to ask a question?"
She said, no. She said, "May I say a question?"
Yeah, may I say a question? And he was like, "You may." And she didn't even say no question. She goes,
she said an opinion unsolicited.
She says, "You shouldn't let them have a funeral, dog. It's gonna make them feel like people." And Milchick, he said that was an opinion and unsolicited, by the way.
And I was watching like, I know Miss Wong not coming for my boy. Like, not that he's my boy, but he's my boy if 12-year-old Miss Wong is trying to play with him.
And then she says, "Ain't your performance review today, dog?"
That's when he almost slapped her.
Yeah, he was mad.
Because he looked at her, he said, "You got somewhere to be, don't you?"
And she was like, "That was a question, right?" And so Milchick says, "Ready the refreshments." And I'll ready the refreshments. You focus on the mournful signage. The mournful signage.
The way
the adjectives, crazy, man. The adjectives.
But like, also, where has she been where she's trained up on all this shit? Like, who is this child?
Yeah, I hope we find that out this season. So then they go into Irv's, they go to the break room. They got a 16-bit video of Irv on the wall. And Milchick says, "Normally when the Innie goes with Kier, we hold a retirement event." And he goes, "But you requested a funeral, so we're going to start this off when you take a 9-second moment of silence to thank Kier for your time with him." 9
was crazy. 9 was insane. Seconds. And then by the time they do this, he goes, "All right, open your eyes. Let's go. Let's keep going."
And he calls on Dylan to give a eulogy. And I got Dylan G's eulogy.
Oh, my Lord. Let's do it.
It's hard to pinpoint a favorite Irving story. For the least fun guy in the world, he was really fun. He put the dick in contradiction.
This just doesn't make sense.
Dylan is the GOAT, man.
You know what? To be fair, how many eulogies has this man heard?
0.
Yeah, so I'm not mad at him.
One time, he was pissed at me for watering down the toner, so he put toner in my water cup. He stopped me before I drank it, though. He just wanted to make a point, not harm me physically. But I did accidentally take a sip of it later because I forgot he said that. He asked me for help with something near the end, and I didn't listen. And in his final moments, he would have been totally justified in telling me to suck my own fuck.
What? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I think it means go fuck yourself. He would have been okay telling me to go fuck myself. Suck my own fuck. Whoever is dialed in to Dylan's writing never change.
But he didn't. He was awesome and I miss him.
I miss him too.
Thank you.
I cut it off a little bit too early because Milchick says, after that, he says, "Thank you, Dylan. A little sugar with your usual salt." That's what he said.
Milchick's really trying to be, he's really trying to make, like, I actually think he's trying to be a good manager.
I think yes. Well, he says it later. We'll get to that. And so then he says they can partake in an Irvin fruit head. And he says the black hair is compliments of some type of fancy watermelon that they got.
He said from Malaysia. They brought in
Malaysian
Malaysia.
watermelon.
I'm like, y'all are you're fucking lying, first of all. Second of all, welcome to the chat, the D-Man 181.
And they cut the watermelon into Irv's face, and it looked remarkably like Irv, by the way. And then Miss Wong was about to play some music, and then Milchick was like, "Hey, dog, let's get up on out of here." And Miss Wong was pissed. She was pissed at this point.
She said, "I want to play the theremin," and he was like, you can do that later. We can do that back at the house."
He says, "You can play it for me later," like as a child.
Yeah, since you want to talk that shit, how about you bring your ass home and do your homework? That's basically what happened.
Helly goes to check on Dylan. And Mark's just like, "All right, I'm out of here." And they're like, "Dog, you just gonna leave just like that?" And Mark's like, "It's over, right? I'm getting my ass back to work. Fuck y'all mean?" And Dylan was like, "Just let his ass go." And then he was like, "Actually, you know what?" He's like, "Actually, you know what? I'm petty. Mark, did you and Helly catch up? Did you tell him that Miss Casey's your wife?" And she's like, "What?" And he was
cut right through that. Chop suey through the bullshit.
And Mark was like, "My Audie's wife," but no, we ain't talking about this shit. I'm out. And then Helly goes off and chases after Mark. And Helly's like,
yeah, because again, Helly's like, she doesn't know anything we've had a long time to process. So all Helly knows is she found the shock of her life. The person she hates the most is her outie, is because she's actually a Egan. And then she finds out that she finds out about Miss Casey, but I love that her response is exactly the right response. So like the reason why Helena was able to play her so well is because Helena understood she was kind and brave and courageous and supportive. So she was just very supportive in those things to Mark, and then her real stuff shined through eventually. So the thing is, like, those actions are what Helly would have did, because she immediately responds the same way and saying like, "Wait, let's go help her."
And she's like, "Why the fuck won't you talk to me, dog?" And Mark's like, "None of this matters. They're smarter than us. They know everything. You can't help me find my wife. They got eyes everywhere. Just leave this shit alone. It's pissing me the fuck off." And
that part I do understand though,
and he said because Helena Egan knows all this shit and told them, basically saying your outie was spying on us and told them everything we were planning. So what's the fucking point?
Yeah. I mean, and I think that like beyond that, he doesn't know that even then, like, Cobelvig was able to keep track of him. So like they definitely know more than he thinks they know. And I think that would that's a valid frustration to be like, we've been sitting here sneaking into the printer room, making maps. We've been sneaking around, climbing through shit tunnels to meet goats. We've been doing all this shit, and the whole time they just sitting up in the control room watching us.
And then Helly's like, "But I'm not her. That ain't me. Look in my eyes, nigga."
Which is not gonna help
me.
It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help.
And Mark was like, "How the fuck do I know that?" And Helly was like, "That's a good point. You don't. But you gotta trust me." And she said, "Everything in here is not a fucking lie."
By the way, all jokes aside, I'm not trusting you. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, I'm over it at that point.
Everything in here is not a fucking lie. And stop being an asshole. And meanwhile, back in the break room, Dylan apologizes to the Mel and Irv. And then, like I told you, Chanel, I said, Irv hid something in that hang in there poster. Because I said, when he said to him at the thing, "Hang in there," that was like a thing to remind him of the fucking poster. Because they wouldn't know that colloquial term. And Dylan looks over there, sees the hang in there poster, remembers what Irv said, and sees the picture of the testing floor and the directions on the back that I think Felicia gave Irv on how to get there. And so now Dylan knows how to get to the testing floor.
Yeah, okay, I will give you this. You did fucking call it. You said that hang in there is a thing. And when I saw that sign, I said, oh, good for him. He has his moment to figure it out. And then they also had it like, Irving was literally staring at the sign too, so they set it up very well. So I love that.
So Tommy said children don't have empathy. They're going to talk their shit 10 toes down, 100%. The D-man says there's a scene in the bathroom where she confronts him and the camera shot looks like he's between two Hellys. I didn't notice that, so I'm gonna go back and review that. That'd be a cool ass shot. I did watch it 3 times. Look, I don't. You know what?
I'm fucking with you. I do appreciate it. You watch it.
Milchick's performance review. Natalie meets Milchick, and Milchick's like, "Hey, dog, listen. Before we go in there, let me talk to you. You know what I mean, right? Let me have a quick little chat with you. Them Kier paintings. How you really feel about that shit?" And Natalie, this time she no-sold that shit. She didn't say shit this time. This time she was just like,
yeah, it's like. Go ahead.
She was basically like, bro, I told you last time with my eyes. Stop asking me this shit. They listening everywhere. Like, stop asking this dumbass shit.
Yeah, it's like they caught her off guard with the photos at first, and she was like, bro, I feel for you. But now she's, you know what? I had a thought too, and this could be just me. But I had a thought, like, because she knew he was about to get bad reviews, she didn't want to commiserate with him. Like, it's like, sometimes this could be me, or I could really be reaching right now, but I've experienced where, like, sometimes that, like, kinfolk support gets revoked when people feel like you're not worthy of, like you're not a star performer. So it's like, if you're not doing great, I don't actually care that we're both Black. I need to not be associated with you. That was kind of what I felt like was happening. I felt like she was rejecting him on the basis of, like, his performance review.
Oh, okay, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Because she already knew what the review was, essentially, during this conversation.
Sure. I mean, because they had already mentioned that, like, that Milchick had a bunch of blunders at the Ortbo.
So then Milchick walks in to the big ass meeting room, and we get Mr. Milchick's performance review, which I also have.
Welcome, Mr. Milchick. Today I will be conducting your monthly performance review. This review can...
His voice is incredible, by the way, the actor.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't remember him talking at first.
Can take anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, depending on the number of atonements and approbations required. If the review is to take longer than 4 hours, there will be a break for lunch.
So when he said this, I said, do the managers get break room? Because I guess, like, in a weird way, it's a weird, like, relief to understand that, like, they still punish managers, because it's like, where was that coming from? You know what I mean? It's like, if this is just like a cruel organization from top to bottom, then I almost, like, get it more than, like, if they're all normal at the top and they just treat these Innies like shit. I don't know. That was, like, a weird thing for me.
The order taken in advance.
Well, I hope that won't be necessary.
Milchick, he's like, listen, if it goes long, we're going to have to order lunch. And Milchick's like, hey, I've been killing it down there. We ain't going to need that lunch. And then he slides him the papers like...
He goes, anyway, here's your Panera order form. Okay, we're only going to do the pick 2, so pick which soup and salad you want. We're not fucking around.
Here is the lunch menu. Let's start with the positives. You received the gift of Kier paintings with grace. Your attendance and your analysis.
Which, by the way, pause. That clearly is a fucking test, because what do you mean I received it with grace? Why are you observing how I received your gift? That literally was clearly a test. It's a fucking dog whistle.
Yeah, they knew it was fucked up. And so they did anyway. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, your urinalysis tested excellent. What the fuck are they testing for? He didn't say you were drug free. He said your urinalysis tested excellent. I think that's what he said. Hold on, let me play.
No, he did. But I guess my guess would be that they're testing for drugs, and that's how they say it, because they would say it weird like that, or maybe they're testing for some random shit.
And urinalysis are both in the excellent range.
Wonderful.
Alternatively,
wonderful.
There have been 3 contentions reported.
Contentions.
Anonymously, which have been investigated and confirmed.
Anonymously is so funny.
We know it's Miss Wong.
1, uses too many big words.
Can you imagine somebody saying that to you at your job?
I think that's the kind of performance reviews Black people get.
You use too many big words.
I mean, am I wrong? Like, is that not what we're addressing here? Is that like you are a nitpick for how you fit in when you are not a part of like the majority group in a corporation? Like, that's why Black people leave corporate. Like, I'm literally, as we speak right now, getting an MBA. Brandon already has one. And like, there was a alum who came back to talk, and I was asking her, like, because I'm in a small school, so I was like asking her, like, what about your peers? Like, do you connect with them? And she said that like of the other Black women, most of them are entrepreneurs because they just did not find their fit in corporate. Like, I do think that a lot of us experience like going and trying to conform and assimilate because you get it. It's not always about your work product. It's about how well people feel like they can talk to you, or if you make people feel like you're doing better than them. I got a review one time when it was like, when I was in corporate, that was like, you keep acting like you're the expert in this. Why would that be a problem? It's like you're tone policing me, right? Was I actually an expert? Did I study in college? Yes. And they were mad about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it really doesn't matter. And that was a Black woman who gave me that, by the way. That wasn't going back to like the Natalie of it all, right? So like, I do think there's definitely some weird shit that they're tapping into, and I'm just surprised because I'm like, I haven't seen the writers' room. I only know about like the high level people like the Ben Stiller and Adam Scotts of it all. So it's like, there's some writers in here who are either talking about either we all have these same experiences, or there's some people who really understand this dynamic that we're talking about. Wait, can you pull up the comments before you go on?
Which comment?
Let's just run through them real quick because there's a couple relevant ones. Oh, I didn't realize it took the sorry. Hey, Human Help, welcome to the chat. Doesn't the religious cultist verbiage get disturbing, creepy? Atonements ever since the waffle party. I'm on and we're dancing on my edge. Yes, very much a cult. Agreed. So DJ Rated R says the performance review is menacing. Human Help also says, what the hell do they need to analyze this piss for? Correct. The show knows how to give us the heebie-jeebies. Okay, the last two comments. DJ Rated R said, but once again, making fun of corporate culture is exactly how corporate does things. It's a poke at performance reviews, exactly. And then this is why I wanted you to pull the comments up. Your comment from your friend Mark.
Yeah, that's true. He's a writer. Facts. Brandon knows what I do. I was told I use too many big words during reports. Yeah, well, he's a writer and he does something else. So yeah, too many big words. It's true. I guess that's true.
Yeah, how you assimilate to that box they have in corporate for you. Thank you, DJ Radar. That's why this show is killing it, because it's a show where you expect them to make fun, but maybe not go this deep, and they're going deep as fuck.
Anti-deflections will be heard after the lunch break.
Yes, sorry.
2.
I'm gonna say that to my family member next time we arguing about DEI. I'm gonna say anti-deflections will be after we get off the phone. You can text them to me.
Of your daily logs, the paperclip was installed back to front, which
yo, that's the funniest one. That shit is so fucking funny.
And the worst part is how he says it impacts him.
Hold on, let's hear this again.
The clip was installed back to front, which led to a confusion as to where in the document to begin reading. Here are the incidents. But the bulk of our day will revolve around the following. You brought in a new refining team for Mark S, which failed to coalesce. You instituted kindness reforms.
Because I'm not Harmony Cobell.
Woo! He's like, I'm not her.
Preach. And so remember how in the very beginning, he was like, when he did, we were like, oh, is he full of shit with that video? I do think Milchick is trying. I actually do. I just think that the problem is he's not in an environment where trying is going to be rewarded. Like, it's either you are complicit or you're out.
Yeah. I mean, he was mean as shit in the break room last season, though.
No, you're right. But yeah, exactly what I'm saying. It's like you're complicit, but then you want to try to be like the nice guy when it's which is how you get caught up in this bullshit. Because you're like, I'll do it their way until it's my way. But your way doesn't work because the whole point was to do it their way. Welcome to the chat, Madison Padmore.
Kindness reforms that seemed to have in no way deterred curiosity or idling by the team once they returned. You arranged an outdoor retreat.
That is a good point, though, if we're being fair. Them nice shit that Milchick was doing, if the goal was to like stop them from roaming the hallways and make them like get back on task, telling them they got unlimited hall passes and we're going to have orc bows and all this other shit, it is going to make them less productive to, like, if we're being in that context.
No, I agree. And it's also like, the thing is, what's happening is they're having an existential crisis. You can't confuse that with like barbecue chips. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think what he did, had he done that shit in the beginning when they first started being curious outside of like the PD and all of it, then he actually would have cut. Yeah, exactly.
Team building occurrence, which resulted in the termination of one employee and the discovery of the true identity of another at great risk and harm to the Egan name.
I know he narrate movie trailers.
Look, Seth. Mark Scout's completion of Cold Harbor will be remembered as one of the greatest moments in the history of this planet. It will take place under your stewardship. It's quite a legacy you will leave.
Thank you, Mr. Drummond. That means a great deal.
This milestone seems to have clouded your judgment. I think it's time to go back to the basics, Seth. To remember these severed workers' greater purpose. And to treat them as what they really are.
Slaves. Treat them as they really are, slaves. I think that's what he meant, but we didn't see what he said. But I think that's what he was going to say.
Slaves, less than, not 3/5, not a whole person.
And then after that, they show Mark working on Cold Harbor, and he had a reintegration episode and decides to leave work early. And so he basically, Milchick basically tells him, I'm a tighten up. And so he runs up on Mark when Mark's leaving work early. And I got this scene because Milchick was fed the fuck up at this point. He was
because he just said
to go.
He said, "Fine, you want me Milchick? I'm gonna give you me Milchick. Fuck it."
Hi, Mark.
Mr. Milchick.
I see you left work 6 minutes early. May I come in?
This is in that little ass elevator. Like, if you look at the picture, they're like face to fucking face.
How was the rest of the funeral? Did you get what you needed from it?
Yeah, sure.
And Mark got a smart ass mouth because he's pissed the fuck off too. Rightfully so, to be clear. But he's pissed the fuck off too.
Hey, did Miss Wong take notes? I can't wait to read her article about it in that newspaper you showed me. What was it called again? The Bullshit Gazette?
That is 100% a Ben Stiller line. 1,000,000%.
That
Straight
is
out of Meet the
also an
Parents.
outie Mark. That's outie Mark.
Yeah, his smart ass mouth. Yeah.
Yes, because that's the type of shit you would say. Because a Bullshit Gazette is crazy for because that takes context that an outie would have.
That is straight up when Greg was talking into the camera about Jack, and he was like, "Oh, Jinxie knows how to use the bathroom. Jinxie can do this," and he was like, "Jinxie don't know shit." He's talking shit to him, and he's called him bullshit. That's straight up from that movie, which reminds my favorite movie of all time. So I see Meet the Parents in this all the time.
Hopefully now we can put all this grief and tumult behind us and look forward to some productive work days ahead.
Oh, you mean putting the numbers in the thing?
Refining.
Right.
Yes. Does that sound good?
Whatever you say, Mr. Milchick. Praise cure.
All outie. All outie.
Did you and Helly catch up?
We did.
Did you tell her that you fucked her outie at the Orc Ball?
Okay. Playing hardball.
Helena leader in waiting of this company. Have a restful evening.
That was mad dark.
Yeah, he's like, you motherfuckers think you about to lose this job for me? You got nothing coming.
And so Mark leaves Lumen, and Helena's watching him leave from afar, and Mark's still coughing when he walks out, so that's still having some shit with him.
Yeah, for sure. I'm worried though, because I'm like, is it a matter of like him? Is he doing the PD route, or is it just hard on you no matter what?
Well, I don't think he was integrated there because he didn't remember any of that shit later in that night. You remember when he was talking to Ragavi, he was like, I don't remember shit yet. But I think it's starting to like bleed in. Like his personalities are starting to blend in that scenario. So I don't think he's where PD was yet, because PD was pretty well integrated, because he was in the MDR room making that map.
Yeah, no, he was well integrated, but he was also having like coughing. Like I feel like his nosebleeds and all that. Did that start with coughing? That's what I was worried about.
So then this scene, I should have cut the clip of this because this was fascinating to me. We cut to Devin reading Rickon's new book, and it's complete bullshit. Like his book's already bullshit, but it's like reverse bullshit now. It's like bullshit on the other side of what he was talking about in his original book. And Devin's like, this is the opposite of what like everything that your book was about that inspired them in the first place. And Rickon was like, well, one point that Nat made. And I was like, Nat? You calling her Nat now? Like, y'all just be chilling like that, you and Nat? And
but Rickon is the type of bitch who would get seduced like that from one meeting and be like, she would say, call me Nat. And he would say, oh my God, I love that. He's such a poor fool. You know what I mean? So it's like he's going to fall for that. But this is on Devin, because whenever shit like this happens, I said, that's the man you married and had a kid with. So you knew what you was getting into.
Rickon claims he's just trying to speak their language. And Devin says, it sounds like Lumen's language. And then Rickon was like, I get where you're coming from, but it's a Trojan horse. And Devin's like, it's not a fucking, that's not what a Trojan horse means. Like, it's not a fucking Trojan horse. And then Devin says, these aren't your ideas. She's like, actually, I'm really pissed because these aren't your ideas. These are Lumen's ideas. Lumen hurts people, and you're going to write propaganda that basically allows them to continue to hurt people. That's fucked up. And Rickon was like, I'll reflect on your words, but remember, this is a large fiscal opportunity, and I don't think you're going to have a problem with me selling millions of my book and the stuff that brings our family. And then Devin was like, oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
I wish I had the no super for you clip, because she basically said, I'm leaving, no ass for you, and left the room.
Yeah, and he goes, babe. She goes, no, thank you. Which I was like, damn, I want to use that argument. I don't know why, but no, thank you would make me more hurt than fuck off.
Yeah, no thank you
is just like, I'm done. Just leave me alone. No thank you, which is like different than actually being impassioned and mad at me.
Then we cut to Irv's crib, and Irv basically accomplished his goal. So the burning an image into your Innie's eyes actually works, because that's why he was doing all those paintings. He don't give a fuck about those paintings. He was doing that to burn that image into his Innie's eyes, and then drinking all that coffee and staying up late so that he falls asleep so that he can see what he was doing. So that idea that Mark and Devin were doing looks like it could have worked in a way, because that's what Irv was doing. So now that he knows Innie got the message, he just threw all them fucking payments out. He walks out to the payphone. He calls presumably the same person he called last time, and said, tell them that they fired me. They knew what my Innie was up to. And then he sees Bert over there in the corner. He was like, actually, I gotta go. And he runs up on Irv. He runs up on Bert and was like, why are you following me? I was like, dog, you was banging on that dude's house. What you mean? Why is he following you? And Bert basically said that. He was like, I got this thing. When someone shows up at my doorstep screaming my fucking name, I want to know why. Yeah, good point.
I mean, fair enough, because I think we never got that justice of like, what the fuck did Bert say? But I was right about something, which was that was Bert's husband. And he got him in trouble, because I would also be like, what the fuck do you mean this nigga pulled up and said, screaming your name at my door? There's no way I would believe that, like, you don't know who that is.
His name is Fields with an S, by the way.
Which I feel like you're side-eyeing. We love these names.
Bert said, it's not as good as the House of Dragon names. Those are the best names of all time.
Yeah,
but these are good names. Bert said he got fired a couple weeks ago, which is something that we didn't know, right? Because we saw the video from Bert's outie and it looked like he was actually retiring. But in reality...
Right, they fired his ass.
They fired him because they told Bert's outie that his Innie had an erotic entanglement.
No, an unauthorized erotic entanglement, which is what I wanted to call this episode.
An unauthorized erotic entanglement.
Can you call that episode this?
Yeah, I can do that. Then you show up at his door, and he's like, "Then did you show up at my door? Like, what the fuck?" And it must have been you.
They asked in the chat earlier, who do you think he was on the phone with? Do we think it's still Ragabi, or is it somebody new?
I originally thought it was Ragabi, but Ragabi's living with Mark. So I feel like he would hear that conversation. So I'm assuming it's somebody else at this point.
That's true. It's not him at this point. Yep.
And so Irv apologizes, and he's like, listen, let's all talk about this. Me and Fields are going to have a ham tomorrow night. We love expensive red wine. So why don't you buy a bottle, roll up on us, and we can have a throuple. I mean, that's how we can have a throuple conversation.
Something like that.
And Irv
but I mean,
agrees.
He's basically like, we don't know yet if Bert is anti or pro Lumen. So it's like, Bert also is just like, can we just get on the same page? Yeah, Human Help says it's the part where the show's getting dark. Like, we're talking about sexual assault at this point. How will Helly respond when she finds out that they had sex? It is almost too stressful.
Well, that was what I was saying last week. I thought it was sexually assaulting Mark, because Mark, Helena, who was there, fully knew what she was doing, but Mark did not know in that case. But I guess if Helena and Helena share the same body, that part gets really weird to me, because like if you call that sexual assault, then if Helly consented to have sex with Mark S and they both consented in Lumen, then that would, by that definition, that would be sexual assault on Helena, right? So like I don't know if I would consider that sexual assault, because that gets really tricky with that, because you could consent and still be that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But on the other side with Mark, that's like if I was married to a twin and then her sister took her place and didn't tell me, like that would be sexual. So that would be stealthy, is what she said.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fucked up, but like it's definitely not something to dwell on. Joe was back. He says the Bert Irving storyline better play a bigger part in the coming episodes, because Turturro and Walken are so much fun to watch. I agree. I really enjoyed them.
Bert asking if he needed a ride to dinner was so flirty. Yeah, he definitely was flirting. He want that throuple.
Then not even he want the throuple. He's like, you can't come blow my shit up and I don't get nothing out of it. What are we talking about?
So then we cut back to Mark's crib for the final scene of the show. Ragabi's going through Gemma's box, trying to get stuff to rattle his memories. They see her cremated remains, and Mark's like, I thought that was her, but she not dead, she just not here. And so Mark was like, hey dog, I'm ready to get into this. Like, let's do this. And she was like, we probably need one more day. And she was like, it usually takes.
He walk around. She is not with this shit, because she literally, like, she probably does feel bad about what happened to PD too. So she's like, I'm literally not trying to rush this so that you feel like, you need to do this now and then you fuck around and die.
But what she said was, usually that's best. What you mean usually? You did this to one person, as far as Mark knows.
I get what she's saying.
Fuck you mean usually? No, I think
Mm-hmm.
I think she's unsevered more people. Or done this
right. I mean, you do have that theory.
And so Mark then asks Ragabi, are they hurting Gemma? And Ragabi's like, I don't know. And then Mark starts to walk upstairs. And then we get the scene. I actually have video for this scene because I thought Adam Scott's face acting here was like Emmy worthy. Just this one scene, his face acting was awesome. Let's watch it.
You're outie.
What?
I didn't say anything. Your outie can parallel park in less than 20 seconds.
I love those affirmations, by the way, by Miss Casey.
Yeah.
Your Audi can parallel park in less than 20 seconds.
That's actually impressive as fuck if it's correct. But secondly, I think we talked about it before. I thought they were bullshit, and then when you go back and listen, they are real. So like they really are picking the most minute parts of life and bringing them out, which I think is like one of the when we go back to like the high level, not these people are the working class being enslaved. Talk about the show. That's what's funny about it is that like the Innies would be mesmerized by knowing that about their outie.
Your outie can roller skate with grace.
Mark be roller skating? Okay, Mark.
I mean, Mark was a different man when Gemma was alive, but also when he's walking, what made me nervous here is like, so for those who are, I guess we're showing it, but like, if you didn't see, he's walking, he's flashing between his basement stairs and the, what's the hall called again?
This is the hallway to this looks like the hallway. This doesn't look like the testing floor hallway. This looks like the hallway where they used to walk down to the break room.
Oh, well, I thought it was a testing floor hallway. But anyway, he's walking and I was like, is this motherfucker walking up the stairs at the same time? Like, I was literally nervous he was going to like throw himself off the stairs thinking he was walking, but that didn't happen.
Your outie pays all of his gas and electric bills within 3 business days.
I mean, he's rich.
While shaving, but not while showering.
I love that. Your outie listens to music while shaving, but not while showering. He turns it off. What does he mean?
What if that was Gemma's subconscious bringing these things up because she knows this about Mark, and so that's why she could get ultra specific about these things because she knows what her husband used to do.
Maybe, but I think they really did do outie research and pull it in because she would have a clipboard. So I think that like maybe, but I feel like it's more likely to that's just how she was because she was specific like that about Irving.
Your outie prefers 2 scoops of ice cream in a serving, but they must be the same flavor.
Those are killing me.
How do you even know that? How do you know that?
Because those are killing me. Those kill me. I remember those. That literally, the ice cream is 2 scoops. It has to be the same flavor. And the showering, because they don't make any sense. So I literally memorize them instantly.
Those of you listening, you won't be able to see this. Those of you, go back and watch this. Those of you watching, watch how great his face is in this last part.
Acting his damn face off.
Your outie once captured a butterfly. Your outie is going to be...
What'd she say? Is going to what?
Look at the pain on that man's face. That is pain.
Well,
the only person who can do pain better than that is Viola Davis. She's the GOAT. She's the best at the pain face.
That or oh my God, don't be mad. What is this? Kerry Washington. That or Kerry Washington's upper lip.
Oh yeah, she does need a quiver.
Not her whole face. Not her whole face, just the upper lip. Yeah, this man is acting his ass off. And I mean, again, like grief is so serious. And we talked about how Mark like never dealt with it, right? He just immediately severed. So like he's been severed almost 2 years. Like he does not deal with his pain. So he has not gotten any further along in the process. So imagine somebody who like barely wants to be here with us, is willing to break his brain in half to see his wife, and then sees her. Nah.
Yeah, that was a crazy way to end it. But now he basically has confirmation that she's there.
She's alive. Oh yeah, and so he's gonna be but the problem now is he's gonna be like, put the shit in me, give it to me, put it in my veins. And Ragapi's gonna be like, I don't want you to die. Like, I think there's a way for Mark to live through this and get her, maybe even get her back. Who fucking knows? But like, but if he pushes himself too hard, he won't even be able to have that. So yeah, his face did a lot. His face did a lot of great work here. But I mean, I've always said that because the way that man's eyes, pupils dilate and his face changes going up and down that elevator when he was concerned about Helly's well-being, came up and down when Helly's coming up and down, like they are definitely giving so much in those expressions that I really, really, really love.
And that was the end of the episode. So now, what are you looking forward to in episode 6? We're coming down the back half.
You know what's so crazy? The theme song, I almost just started singing the theme song in my head. That theme song goes so hard. Whenever you play, oh, you know what? Because they bring it in strong at the end. So it was just in the background just now. I'm like, dun-dun-dun. But okay, so I'm looking forward to the theme song again. I'm looking forward to what is gonna happen. Okay, I love the fact that I have no fucking idea where we're going from here. Anything can happen and nothing can happen. Cobelvig could come back. We know she's come back at some point. Milchick could get fired and Huang could be running the floor. One of them could have a breakdown. Helly could find out about Mark and then like there's a whole problem here. The board, we see the board. Like they could show us a whole new part of Lumen we never seen. We can actually get the answer behind how Miss Casey is even in this situation. Like they could do anything next week. They could wake them up and own a dude ranch.
I'm most interested. Yeah, well, yeah, it could be anything on this show. I'm most interested in how Dylan follows up and makes good on what he did with Irv. Like he feels like he let him down, not believing him. And so I want to see like how does Dylan balance that with if his Audie's wife comes back, right? And Gretchen comes back, like how's he going to balance those two things? So
what's nice is that he wasn't that interested in Gretchen. So I hopefully he doesn't get that distracted. He was probably like, I think he thought he was married to Pamela Anderson.
No, I thought he was interested in Gretchen, meaning like he wants to learn more about that life and his kids and stuff.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying like I think that he wanted to learn more, and I think in his mind he was married to somebody from Baywatch.
Oh,
and when he met what's her name, he was like, maybe like. Well, I mean, he found out he's a loser, right? Like, remember he used to think he did muscle shows outside, so I actually think it dampened some of his excitement because he doesn't want to know more about having 3 kids and being a loser and not having a job. So I think that's good because it gets him back into it gets him back into the mood. DJ Rated R says, don't forget that Mark had to do kind eyes in season 1.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
That's real. Yeah, we've come a long fucking way, bro. And this show is giving us so much.
Thank you guys for listening. Again, email us at wewaswatchingpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you're expecting in episode 6 or after it comes out. Let us know what you thought. We'll read it on the show next week. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review. We read a couple of them on the show today. We'll get some more. And you can also watch us like everyone in the chat. We appreciate all the interaction in the chat each week. Thank you all for being here. So go search for us on YouTube, We Was Watching Podcast, or youtube.com/@WeWasWatching, and subscribe to our channel so you can get the notification bell and see when we're going live. And then you can also follow us on social media at We Was Watching on Blue Sky and Twitter. Until then, Chanel, do you have any words of cheer for the people?
Yeah, unfortunately, Black History Month from here on out will be canceled for Innies. We don't believe in celebrating affinities for the Innies. They're all one people. We are all one Innie. Hashtag we are all one Innie. And but for the outies, happy Black History Month. Please keep enjoying being Black while it's still legal. I hope that you guys are excited as we are for this show, excited as we are for White Lotus. White Lotus is going to be a blast. I sent you a sketch. Did you see the SNL sketch that was Black Lotus? You gotta watch the real.
I'll watch it.
So Black Lotus, it's literally Black people in a hotel being like, you know that lady gonna rob you, right? It was so good. And then please go watch the Zipline sketch. Everyone, when you get out here, go Google, I think you should leave Zipline, and you'll see that was how they made Mark's Ortbo sound like. Thank you so much, Human Help. Thank you, Joe. Oh, I forgot about the big word count. We lost count, but it was at least 5. So my ending words are gonna be the perpetuity of Negro ancestral happiness and the marginal aspect of experiencing the realization of American existence is what we are celebrating today. And we are ignoring the calamities of colossal consequences of delusion and vitriol and praise Kier.